Hey guys, Gen Z here. I'm with our student Evelyn. She's going to be my demo uke today. So we've been working on turtle attacks the past few weeks, and I want to talk about, first of all, the bottom person being in turtle. So usually when we have our opponent who turtles, and it's typically going to be off of when we're trying to pass, or if we snap them down maybe for a takedown and come back to control the hips, they're going to be buttoned up. So their elbows are going to be in and nice and connected to their knees, trying to give us as little space as possible. And depending if we're in the gi or not, defending, from different chokes and things like that too. So they'll have different arm movements and positioning. So as we're here as the top person, I can kind of control the turtle position in a few different ways. I always really want to control the hips though. If I'm too high on the back, that's usually where they can just kind of pop me off. So I might be nice and heavy on the hip on one side where I'm almost like sitting my hip on hers. So this is putting a lot of pressure. I've got one foot posted and I'm very mindful of where I'm putting my arms. I don't want to just come in for like a nice tight waist and hug if I'm not necessarily intentional or ready for my positioning, because this is going to lend her to a Peterson roll, right? So that would be a bottom person option for the bottom person. We'll get to those coming soon. But I just am conscious of keeping my elbows in close to my body, controlling her maybe on the shoulders, arms, right, hip, ribs, but not really kind of putting my grips in until I know exactly where I'm going. I can also come right to the back and control the hips here where I'm down on a knee and I've got a foot up, knee behind the butt. I can always come around into a nice front headlock position, nice and heavy on the front, and start searching for my seatbelt grips and stuff there. Guillotines, chokes, all that different stuff. So from here, I'm going to show you guys, I've shown different videos before about taking the back and traditional back takes. So sometimes when we're in this position, I'll come to this side, when we're here controlling, right, the hips, it might be hard for me if she doesn't have any space for me to get in, right? I can always jostle my partner around to try and create space and get in to different spots. But sometimes, right, depending on how good their base is, I could just grip right at the ribs and I can grip at the shoulder or place my hand on the mat and just pull them back, right? So this is a good option. Now, if she tries to get back up, right, I can start trying to come in and like insert my bottom knee. But if I can keep her down here, I can start coming into like a triple attack position. So from here, I'm going to lower my chest. I'm going to come in for a figure four because my arm is already underneath her head. So I'm going to build this figure four here. I'm going to keep my chest low because now I don't really want her to try to shift to her back. I want to be able to take her back. So as I'm here, I'm going to kind of pressure into her with my chest and I tuck my shin in. And now I start building this other leg because I want to essentially bring it over, but I don't want her to trap it. So I'm just going to bring my knee behind her butt and her back, and I'm going to keep my head heavy. And when I'm ready, as I start kind of building this control and pressure, I'm going to use this figure four to open her up, right? So I kind of stretch her back, and then I'm going to just pummel my leg and foot around to her hip. Okay, so I'm staying nice and low. I'm staying behind her. And now when I'm ready, all I'm going to do is tuck that shin in, cinch everything in. My elbows close to my body. My head is nice and heavy on her head. And I'm going to sit butt cheek to butt cheek. And now I've got my back control. I can get my hooks. I can go to body triangles, right? Faux body triangle, half back, whatever I want. But I've got my nice control and my upper body control. So there's my back take from there. Okay, so that's a great option to be able to just bring your partner over. We're here nice and controlled, and boom, I can right away connect and start looking for my figure four options from there. Okay, so I also want to talk about, if we're on the side here, how we can go for a Darce option or an Anaconda. Okay, the difference between Darce and Anaconda, right? Darce is going to basically be leading from the pit to the head. Anaconda is going to be more of like a front headlock position, going from the head to the pit. okay? So that's really the main difference. If I'm on my side here and pressuring in nice and heavy, what I'm looking for is finding space to bring this hand in through the armpit first. So even here, I can switch. Like I might start heavy on the hip and then switch my configuration a bit, right? But I'm gonna try and find some space. As I do that, I'm gonna just bring my hand in. So I'm gonna go for this opposite hand. So it's gonna be the hand that's closest to their body. I'm gonna bring my hand in from the pit to the head, and I can always cup the head with my outside hand, right? So I'm coming in nice and deep, just enough for my hand to come out and wave. Now I'm gonna gable grit, and I'm gonna use my elbow to get heavy as I lift the other elbow up, and I'm going to bring her in a half circle, okay? So this is gonna rotate her. So as I'm here, I'm nice and heavy. It's almost like we're doing a power half, but I wanna lift her and turn her. I'm gonna just rotate her. As I do that, I follow her, okay? This is gonna line her arm up perfectly for the choke. Now, as I'm here, one of the biggest things people are gonna do right away to try and get out of this is extend their head. So I need to bring my hand to her head right away. I get out of this gable grip, I cup the head, and I pull it back. As I do that, I'm gonna lay my ear on her shoulder, and I'm gonna extend my arm through. If I skip this part, it's not gonna be tight, okay? I don't wanna stay here and try and go for this choke. This is where people were really having trouble and finding it was very loose. I need to extend my arm, okay, so that I get it nice and tight. From here now, I'm just gonna bring my bicep of my top arm to my hand. I'm gonna bring my other hand just on her back, and then I'm gonna keep the knee down by the head, and I'm gonna step my other foot up. You could trap the legs too if you want. It depends, a top leg, or you can just post here. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna puff my chest. I'm gonna drop the elbow by the head. I'm gonna lift the other elbow so there's a little rotation, and I squeeze. Okay, so I'm doing this kind of puff, drop, this rotational squeeze. It puts a lot of pressure on them, okay? So one more time. We're here, right? I might be in this position. I'm gonna start grabbing the head, pulling, and I'm gonna bring my arm through. Okay, I lay my head on her back too to control. Just enough so I can wave, get my gable grip. I'm gonna drop my elbow, lift my elbow that's under her, and then I'm gonna walk around with it because I want my chest to cover her arm. From here, I'll cup the head, drop my head on her shoulder, my ear on her shoulder, and then I'm gonna pull my arm through, okay, or push my arm through, I should say. Me pulling the head towards me allows me to pull my arm through. I bring my bicep to my hand. I'm gonna drop this knee. I can trap her legs with my other foot. I need to at least step that leg up. I'm gonna puff my chest, drop the elbow, and there we go for the tap, okay? So let's look at the Anaconda. This Anaconda variation, I learned from Eli Knight. Same kind of deal. We're in the front headlock, right? We're in this situation now, but not too different from the Darce. I'm coming in from the neck and ending out of the armpit, right? So we're here, right? I can, if they're tucked and she's doing the right thing, I can look for the tricep and I can kind of just pull her back to create some space. I want to make sure I'm not too close to her with my knees because then she's just going to run a takedown. So I want to kind of sprawl back. I'm nice and heavy. I'm just trying to be a little bit light on Evelyn. She's got a little shoulder injury. So I'd like to sprawl back and put weights. I open her up. Now I'm going to come in by the neck and I'm going to come out to the pit. I'm going to gable grip. From here, I really want to use the forearm, the blade of the forearm, right by the tricep. I'm going to lift her and like cinch my elbows in. It's going to make it so much easier to move this arm. I cinch my elbows, influence my body, And then I'm going to be able to lift her elbow and displace her arm. So from here, what I don't want to do is just roll like this. Her whole body is going to go on my head. I need to move her out of the way so my head goes in the hole. Then she's not going to fall on my face. Okay, so we're here, cinch in. I'm going to move this elbow through. As I start to roll, I put my head in there, in the hole, and now we're on our sides. We definitely want to stay on our sides here. Okay, same thing as with the Darce. Instead of grabbing the head, I'm going to grab the tricep, and I'm going to extend my arm through as much as possible. I'm going to bring my bicep to my hand. I can cup her back. But here, especially if you feel their head is up kind of high, as I'm on her hair too, it's going to be hard to get the finish, right? So what I want is right away, you're going to feel like you shouldn't be doing this, but you want to walk back to let her head fall in the hole. I'm staying on my side the whole time. I'm not getting on my back. I don't want to give her space to escape. And now I start walking in. I'm going to puff my chest, squeeze my elbows together, and now I'm going to start compressing her head as I walk in. Okay, if you walk in so much, you could potentially trap their legs too. Okay, but typically as you're puffing the chest, right, squeezing the elbows and walking in, it's going to be pretty tight. Okay, thanks, Evelyn. Sorry, I'm on your hair there. A last option that I want to go over is the crucifix. Okay, this is also a great entry kind of if we're on this side. It's similar to taking the back, but instead of this front knee inserting in between her knee and elbow, it's going to be my knee closest to her, right? So from here, what I want to do is I can move her around, right? Lift her up, make space. I'm going from the top to the bottom, trying to bring my knee in between, okay? From here, what I want to do now is I can come in. If you have the gi, you can reach for the opposite lapel, but I'm going to try and like fist and cross face here to create some space for me to start bringing my heel in towards her arm. I want to isolate this arm, okay? From here, I'm going to come in and I'm going to come underneath her armpit and get a 2-on-1 on her wrist. I'm going to suck her elbow in. And now you can see sometimes people do a forward roll. I feel like that's kind of a tall order to bring them with you, especially if your partner's bigger or a little bit heavier than you are. So what we're going to do is we're going to simplify this and we're going to sit back, okay? So I'm here, my head's heavy. I'm going to sit to my butt peak and pull her back. Now, as we sit back, I cannot stay in this position. Right away, I need to scooch. I'm going to shrimp. I want her to be in a spot where she like looks like she's really uncomfortable on like a headboard, right? So if she can drive into me, like that's going to be her defense from this. So I need to make sure her shoulders are not able to shift back and bridge into me, okay? So as you're practicing this, make sure your partner gives you a little bit of energy and read to make sure they can't do this. So from here, we've got some nice options, right? We can go for our arm bar. We can go for a nice arm lock down here. So initially I'm just going to pinch my knees together, right, to trap the arm. But then I can start using my heels to the wrist to straighten out the arm. You can also kind of hook underneath the arm to straighten it and get to the wrist. And then I'm just going to thrust my hips right into it for the arm lock. If you're in the gi, you can always go for the lapel, right? You can do a double lapel choke. You can also go in for a single wing, right? From here, I can come around. It's going to be a little bit more difficult for chokes, but I can come in and I can try and like rotate, right? And do some straight arm locks here, get a nice lock. I can go for a nice wrist lock option also. But this is a really hard position for your partner to escape. Okay, so that's our crucifix option. So one more time, just to get into the entry. We're here. I'm trying to bring in my near side knee. I'm going to try and post in cross face. come in, isolate the arm, get my 2-on-1, cinch in her arm, and then I'm gonna sit back to my butt. Okay, I'm gonna sit to my butt and bring her back. I'm gonna scooch out right away from here and make sure she's in the most uncomfortable position possible. I can start under hooking, right, her wrist to find that arm lock to straighten it. And then I'm just gonna thrust my hips forward for the tap, right? We can come in, start straightening this arm out, go for straight arm locks. I can go for wrist locks here, right? Lots of good options. So hope you guys enjoy. Hope you can work on your crucifix game. And we'll see you guys soon. Thanks. Bye.